What's going down, YouTube? Jared, RedRacer video. Thanks for joining me for another one today, guys. Today's video, we are talking about traction. I've got a lot of questions from people that basically say, in a nutshell, how do you use all that power? Or is that much power usable? I've also, on a lot of the forums on Facebook and things like that, and even questions on here, I've had people just say, basically that's just too much power. It's not even usable on the street. So I kind of want to address that today, kind of show you guys what we've done to try and make the power as usable as possible. And we're doing that right now. Once again, everybody, I appreciate you joining me for another one today. If this is your first time on the channel, however, this is a channel about a 2016 Camaro SS. It's twin turbo, makes crazy stupid power, has lots of brakes, lots of suspension, lots of everything done. And the guy on the channel, myself, knows a lot about cars. So I'm a car guy, this is a car channel. If that sounds like stuff you guys would be into, please make sure you hit the like button, go down and hit the subscribe button, and be sure you hit the bell next to subscribe so you guys know when I have new videos. Like I mentioned, today's video, guys, is about traction. The car you see here behind me makes 929 wheel horsepower and 777 foot-pounds of torque, and that was on 18 pounds of boost. We've still got a little bit left. I don't think JDP was using a whole bunch of timing. We might be able to squeak a little bit more out of the turbos. So I do call this car a 1,000 wheel horsepower car because I know it'll make it. Our pull at 929 and 777 foot-pounds was also done in 5th gear. In 6th gear, it would make more power, and that's why I pretty much say that that's where we're at on power. So I'm not trying to overclaim, just trying to be realistic. And I think that's what the car will make. But today's video, like I mentioned already, guys, how do you use that power? Can you make that much power? Can you make that power actually be usable on the street? And how have we done it? So real quick, I'm gonna flip the camera on here and kind of show you guys how we've addressed that. All right, guys, so first things first, yes, you need a lot of rubber. These are not crazy, but we are running a 305 3019, and we are running those squared on this car. So we got a lot of tire up front for grip, and we've got a pretty good amount of tire in the back. At 929 wheel horsepower though, as you might imagine, it is not enough. So even though we've got Detroit speed suspension on the car, BMR suspension on the car, we've had tuning help from Ultimate Performance, it still gets a little bit tricky. So this is how we address it. This is our plethora of tires. We have run all of these tires on the car at different stages, and I'll show you real quick how and why we use them. Real quick, I'm gonna show you though, difference in height. The first tire you see right here, this is my tires that are on the car right now. That's the 305 3019s. They are 19-inch tires in the 305 form. You'll notice they are quite a bit shorter than the other tires I've run before. So if I wanted to run these tires, or if I wanted to run one of these taller tires like my drag radial or like my street tires that I run, I would have to switch the whole tire setup. I would have to switch back to different tires on the front as well. Because if you put this first tire on with one of these other tires in the back, if I tried to run my drag radials or these other tires in the back, my car would probably freak out and tell me that I've got huge problems, because it's basically going to have wheel speed sensors that are reading so much different. It's going to give the traction control system issues. You definitely want to be careful about the combination you use. Real quick though, these are the Bridgestone Potenza RE71Rs. They're a 200 treadwear tire, and for what we do, which is Optima, Search for the Ultimate Street Car, and LS Fest West, you have got to run a 200 treadwear or better. So they're not the stickiest tire there is, but they're the stickiest, or one of the two stickiest tires you can run in the series we run. So that's what we run on the car now. It's what we run on the car the majority of the time. And I have come to really, really like them. They, believe it or not on 929 wheel horsepower, but on, probably about 800, 750, they have been crazy good for traction in the back. I think a lot of that's got to do with the turbos and the way that they build power a little bit slower than what the supercharger did, but they've been pretty good. The next tire you'll see here, and these are my rears. These are, I've run these on the car before, and these are I don't know if you can see that or not, I'm gonna have to flip around. Okay, yeah, we had to flip around, but where's my numbers at now? Hold on, we're almost there. Hold on. They're a 315 3520. So they're big. They are on the 20-inch wheels, and 315 is pretty wide. This is when I had a supercharger on the car, and I needed all the traction I could get because that torque was just unreal and basically made it impossible to get traction. The third tire you see here, these are my drag radials. So I run a Mickey Thompson and they are the ET Street SS. ET Street SS, and we ran these in a 305 3520. That's the biggest one I could get in a 20, the widest tire I could get. So we ran these tires on the car when we were drag racing and doing things like that. So to answer the question, is that much power usable and how do you use it? The answer is like yes-ish. On the streets, depending on the temperature on the ground, depending on the temperature outside, depending on the temperature of your tires, depending on the amount of boost you're running, because, you know, being a turbo, we can change boost up and down pretty easy. We can load different tunes in. The tune we run in autocross is not the same as the tune that we run on the road course, is not the same as the tune we would run on a drag course, is not the same as the tune we would probably run if we were out, you know, running the streets of Houston or on a big road rally with some McLarens and things like that. Different scenarios would require different amounts of power. And so because of that, the short answer to how you make traction or how you make it work is you buy 3 different sets of tires or more, and you have wheels for them, and you kind of just have to switch things up. You know, making these cars work for every different scenario is not easy. In a lot of my videos, you guys have heard me say, and I try not to be arrogant about it or whatever, and it probably comes across arrogant regardless of how I try, but I have built this Camaro to be the most well-rounded Camaro there is. I want my Camaro to be good at everything. Drag racing is probably my the least of my worries. I do like it, don't get me wrong, it's fun, but I'm ruined. Since I've gone and done autocross and road course and speed stop and, you know, road rallies and things like that, I just get a lot more enjoyment out of driving the car than I do out of, you know, waiting in line, driving for 9 to 10 seconds at a time and being done. So having said that though, I still want to be decent at drag, and I'm looking forward to throwing those drag radials back on because we've never run the car on the drag radial since it's been turbo. Our fastest time was a 10.3 at 135 at Famoso, and I am confident this car would be significantly faster than that at this point, just based on how much harder this car pulls in the top end of the tachometer. The 4,000 to 6,000 or 7,000 mark is just much, much faster, and at high speeds, this car is charging much, much quicker than it did on the supercharger. But getting back to what I was saying, we want this car to be well-rounded, and the answer to how you making it work is, like I said, just, you know, you've got to be able to and be willing to change your setup. That's another reason why we went with double adjustable coilovers and adjustable suspension pieces under the car, is so that when we really get to an event that once I actually know how to drive and the driver is not the problem with the car and its setup, we'll be able to change the setup, change wheels and tires, you know, change sway bar adjustments, change shock adjustments. We've got a lot of different things we can do to make this car work for the different scenarios or different events that the car runs in. But tires, guys, obviously for most people are going to be the biggest thing. There's not going to be tons of people who are throwing all the suspension and stuff at it like we have. So the short answer to that question, like I kind of already said, and I get a little bit redundant here, but it's tires. Pick your tires wisely. I'll give you an idea of what tires I would recommend, but again, it's going to be different for everybody. If you run road course, speed stop, autocross type stuff, there's a couple of tires that most everybody runs, the RE71Rs, and I understand there's going to be a new revised version of that. I don't know what the number will be, but that tire is an excellent tire. It is a 200 tread wear tire, so it's legal in most events, and they are super sticky. I mean, I will tell you right now, going from like my Continental Extreme Contact DWs, which were good tires and were great, I mean, they don't hold a candle. You know, obviously they're much more of like an all-season tire, but even in a big 315 in the back and taller and everything, it wasn't nearly as good as what that RE71R was. So the other one is the Rival S. So the Rival S, and there's going to be a Rival S 1.5, I think, coming out, but that's also legal, also super sticky, and that's a tire that a lot of people really like. A little asterisk there, depending on the wheel size you run, it limits you to the amount of the width of tires you can get. So a lot of people are going all the way down to like an 18-inch wheel so that they can run a 335 wide tire. So again, you know, depending on the situation, everybody's circumstance is going to be a little bit different, but that's what I would recommend if you're going to autocross, road course, things like that. Street tires. I have had very, very good luck with the Extreme Contact DWs that I showed you in the video. I've had very good luck with the mileage. The tire that I showed you was a rear tire, and it was on the car for probably 10,000 miles of spinning because there was lots of spin. It was when we were supercharged, and there was just a lot of spinning that happened. So I've been pretty happy with the way they've worn. I've been incredibly happy with their wet traction and just, you know, the way the car handles. They ride pretty smooth. They're fairly quiet. I've liked them for that reason. The Continental Extreme Contact DW, I think there's also an Continental Extreme Contact Sport now that might have replaced that tire. But I've heard good things about both of them. Price-wise, they're very fair. They're not cheap, but they're fair. They're not like $500 a tire, and I've had very, very good luck with them. So again, different people like different tires. Yes, the Michelins are probably going to be a little bit better, but you know, they're going to be significantly more, and I just didn't need a Michelin, you know, for what we were doing. Thirdly, drag racing guys, you're going to have to go drag radial. There is so many, even on a stock car, there is a lot to be gained by putting a drag radial on the back of your car. Now, you don't have to go to a slick. You don't have to go to anything crazy, but like what I run, it's an ET Street SS. It's honestly not enough for my car now. If I knew we were going to be getting this high in power, I probably would have gone ET Street R's, made it, you know, a little more official, like a whistle. But those tires, there is basically, if you get caught in the rain, it's sketchy. And these ones that I have now, there is actually treads where they're technically maybe going to be okay in the rain. But having driven them in the rain, guys, I'm going to tell you that it's downright scary. So could you do it? Sure. Would I recommend it? Not very much. Not very much. That's it, guys. I'm kind of out of stuff to say. I probably have missed some stuff because I usually do. I'm a little bit of a scatterbrain, but you know, you got to know your weaknesses and move on from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope that answers some of the questions I've gotten from people to just, you know, how much power can you make and still have it be usable? And how do you use that power? What tires do you like? What tires have you run on the car? There's the answer to that question. So be on the lookout, guys. I'm home this week, so there will be a lot more videos than there was last week. Last week was a tough week. Both my parents, who have passed now, birthdays were within a week of each other. Valentine's Day. I just kind of, every once in a while, I like to take some time and just kind of focus on family and do that kind of stuff. So that's why we didn't have a video all last week. So if you guys missed me, I apologize, but this week will be much better. Keep your eyes open. Got lots of stuff coming. I appreciate all you guys so much. Please share this with your friends who are car nuts. The channel growth has been very inspiring, and I can't wait to see where this thing goes. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you on the next RedRacer video. Thanks, guys.